Hello, my name is Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment. I guide individuals just like you to align who you are with what you want so you can receive more prosperity in your own natural flow. A lot of times we think of prosperity as just the finance, the money, and I come from that background. I've worked in that industry, and I still guide individuals and couples and entrepreneurs to understand who they are and aligning that with their relationship with money. But we can do this on all levels, where prosperity is a natural flow. What gets in the way is when we think we're supposed to do it like everybody else. And I can tell you that 5 years ago, when I started my business, I hired the coach, I hired people to support me, and I believed that they had what I needed to get out here, right, in the big wide world, and start a business and do what I've never done before. Over the journey, my own prosperity journey, I had to realize that I am here to be who I am, which means I am here to do the things I'm here to do, which doesn't look like how you do it, nor should it. So I strongly want to encourage you to just take this deep breath, to feel the heart of who you are, and to recognize, are you pushing where you could be allowing yourself to be more in flow? Now, I use human design as a tool within my business and working with my clients, because ultimately that is how we understand, or understand, I like to say, who you are, how you navigate the energetic, how you navigate who you are, what you're receiving, and what you're also transmitting or giving to others. There's a huge knowing that's already deep within you. There's like this well of knowledge, of intuition that is just waiting to come through. Yet sometimes we're afraid. We're afraid to be who we are. We're afraid we're going to do it wrong. And so when I hired the coaches, I did what they said, right? We all do that. We learned as children to do what others tell us, right? Mom and dad, they are here to guide us, to teach us, but to also tell us what we need to do. And unfortunately, that's carried forth in our way of being and our way of doing. So it's okay to recognize, and a lot of times this is why our emotions come up, because there is a reason you don't want to do something. It's not who you are. It's not meant for you. You're not meant to be who everyone else is, which means you're not meant to do the way they do. This is a really hard road to be on, right? And so I just want to touch on this concept of this path to prosperity. Are you on it? Because whether you do see the roads diverge and you may be on the path to prosperity or not, either way, they can converge. You can get back on your path. And usually the reason we got off it in the first place is because we were not tuning in to the truth of who we are. If you're a generator type, meaning you are a generator or a manifesting generator, your ability to know if you're on your path is right within you. Your sacral is your GPS system. And you're going to constantly be following, responding to what shows up. And when you are truly in alignment with what that is for you, you're on your path. Now, if you're more of a projector type like myself, or a manifestor or a reflector, there is a way for us to go inward. It just takes us maybe a little time of getting to know ourselves. It takes us getting quiet and really feeling the energy within us to come to the realization that if we're contracting, something doesn't align. We're not feeling correct with this path or with this choice. And when you can feel the expansion, you know you're on your path to prosperity. Now, everybody's path is different. So when I'm working with clients, what it is that you want and who you are, it's not always the same as somebody else that I work with. And one of the things that I do see that we all have in similarity, we all have the same, is our ability to show up, to be courageous, to be confident in knowing who we are. And sometimes that's the part that feels hard and we're already lost. And I just want to gently remind you, you already know who you are, and you already have access to the vastness in the world of trusting yourself, of trusting what it is that you want. Because in all reality, if you do want, $1 million, once you get it, are you fulfilled? Was that the path that you were on? Was that your true path to prosperity? Or is there something more? Because when we get caught up in thinking that it's all about the money or it's all about this external, that's already the part where we get lost, because we're following what we should do. We're honoring what others are doing, what they're going after. I want you to see your path looks totally different. So this is the time, as we're still in the Northern Hemisphere here in winter, doesn't really feel like it right now, but there is still this time for hibernation, and I want to say reflection, especially because we have Mercury retrograde right now. Reflection is so beautiful. It's the time to really go in and reflect upon where you've been, who you've been, and what needs to change. This is the start of the path, because if you don't know where you're going, right, and you're just kind of aimlessly traveling, you might not ever know that you were meant to get to Peru, right? If you're just traveling around, you might not ever get there. But if you can already start to set your sights on this knowing that there is something that you want, and maybe it is a destination, like going to a location. Maybe it is achieving a certain goal. But to really align with it, you have to be who you are. You have to honor yourself. That's the part sometimes we get tripped up. So for everywhere in your life where you've been told to not be who you are, let's go ahead and uncreate that and release that. Because you aren't too big, or you aren't too small, or too loud, or too quiet. You are who you are. And yes, there are things that you had to go through to have those polarity kind of experiences, right? Those polarizing opposites to help you navigate to find basically the point where we get to collapse that potential into one, where you can have both. You can be loud, you can be quiet, you can be the balance of all things, and you already are. If you're new to human design, you don't know what that is, you're invited to request your human design chart. If you are interested to learn more about who you are, this is a great first step. And there's so much information. I feel like human design's finally hit a tipping point where people all over use this tool, and they actually know about it and tell people about it. And it's revolutionary in the sense that you get to actually know you, and then you get to play with it, have fun, and figure out who your partner might be, or your kids, or your parents, or your siblings, your coworkers. And all of a sudden, you get to see the energy differently. You get to see what your path to prosperity looks like. And if you find yourself surrounded by all these people who are essentially reflecting back their own misalignments, you know that you have such a growth potential, and that you're already on it. You're already starting to evolve and awaken and see so many new things and learn so much more about yourself. That is how you change the world around you, because effectively your world changes. So if you're not in the right career and you've been sensing that, this is part of your inner knowing. This is the intuition you're here to tap into. This is here for you right here, right now, to remember that you're right where you need to be. And this is your next step in the journey to whatever destination it is that you want to get to. If you need support, it would be an honor to support you. But there are so many individuals out there in the world who you are going to meet synchronistically, because the moment you go forth on that path, that is why you cross paths, right? And maybe I'm part of your path to prosperity, maybe to help you remember you are the light. It's always been there, and that you shine so bright. The time is now to proclaim who you are, what it is you want, and to do it in the way that allows you to take action according to who you are. It's really simple. We just complicate it because we think we have to do all these steps and we have to do all these things. And look at nature. It's simple, right? It has its own rhythms. So if you're in this winter season right now, wanting to push harder than you should, then I ask you the question, is this the right timing? And do you have the energy? Or is this more the time to be reflective, to go inward, to dream big, start to visualize, start to see what was working, what wasn't working, what needs to change? Maybe your goals and what you wanted really didn't align with who you are. Maybe that's just what you thought you were supposed to go after. So get clear on who you are, and everything starts to open up. It's brilliant. It's really fun too. So you're invited to be on this journey with me if you choose, but really to be on the journey for yourself, for you, because you're already amazing. I hope you know that. So continue diving inward and allowing that to come outward, where you can start to see the inner prosperity and the inner alignment from within. And then you see it everywhere, right? The external beauty is just so much more brighter, that you just see so much more. And I do want to plant the seed that I run a program every spring called Courage to Thrive, because there is an element of a piece of fear being what stands in our way to being on our path to prosperity. So how is fear blocking your path to prosperity? And sometimes we see it, sometimes we don't. So just kind of ponder that and know that if there is something you need support, it would be an honor to support you for the 9 weeks during that program that runs the end of March through May. And really, we're exploring all the dynamics of how to build your courage to completely thrive in an aligned way that allows you to be on your path to prosperity. And it feels good, right? To just be in that natural flow, and that it can be easy. Thank you for being you. You are my family. And with eternal love and tenderness, I am grateful to be connecting with you. And I'm grateful that you're finding your path to prosperity. Bye for now.